When you think about, that age at 14, 15, how many of us know what we exactly want to do, who we want to be? I think at 24, 25, I felt like I kind of like had enough of that. Traveling on the road, it's very taxing. Getting on that tour bus, traveling all night. And I know for me, I was on the road 3 or 4 nights a week, and it was difficult. And it takes a toll on you physically, mentally, emotionally. It's not as easy as some would think. And I think that's why some people tend to gravitate toward alcohol. Some people kind of lean toward drugs. That was not an option for me. My mother knew, but she just, let me stay in that crap. She knew that I wasn't happy, but I recall as I'm sitting here talking, I never wanted to be a star. It's like it chose me. Okay, because my husband and I got married at 25. And I used to always say, when I was out there on the road and traveling, I used to always say, you know what? There will never be a nanny. Nobody's taking care of my kids but me. Nobody gonna raise them and discipline them but me. Okay, and I meant that thing. So we decided to wait and have kids 2 years after we got married. So that's when, like I said, the reality of life began to set in for me, because I was like, okay, that was an important time for me and my son, right? And I didn't want my career to get in. I just needed to focus on being a mother and being a wife, right? Because I felt like, okay, I've already reached this level of success, and I was okay with that. But I felt like my marriage was becoming my priority, right? And my children had to become my priority as well. So that's when my perspective of everything began to shift at 25. Family is important, and I think sometimes we, as recording artists or musicians or, entertainers, we kind of lose sight of that. Family is everything, and it should be, because at the end of the day, money comes and goes, people come and go, relationships end, and who's going to be there for you? Who can you really confide in? Who can you really trust? Because I've had people, so-called people, that I've opened my home to, right? And I consider these people friends, and they stole from me. Everybody's not your friend. Everybody don't want to see you succeed. Everybody don't want to see you do well, right? And that's just the truth. So my perspective changed when I got married and had our kids, because as I said before, I was like, nobody else is going to raise my kids, the way I feel like I wanted them to be raised except for me. And there are going to be some times when I'm going to have to spank them and discipline them, and ain't nobody going to spank them but me. So that's that. The music industry is something else. Everybody's not, like I said, who they appear to be. It's a lot of cover-up. It's a lot of cover-up that goes on in Hollywood. Like Cat Williams said, I did a Facebook Live not long ago. Y'all may want to check it out. Okay. And I said, I think I entitled it, "This is Tell the Truth Tuesday." The record label is not really promoting my music. When I say promoting, right, what they do is, it's their job to make sure that your songs are played on, the radio stations, right? And there were a few songs in particular. I was like, wow, I just kind of felt like that song should have got more airplay, should have done better. And then I found out later on that the record label was not as supportive. They were supporting another artist. And that was discouraging to me, because I felt like here I'm in the studio giving my all, on the road giving my all, and I don't have my record label support. That was messed up, right? So I was definitely frustrated with that and discouraged with that. At 21, my voice reached its peak, right? And that's when I was like, wow, I don't have the record label support. And then I moved over to Motown, because right here I'm at Atlantic. But Atlantic actually was better. It was a better situations, I'll say, over at Atlantic instead of Motown. Yeah, Motown, the support went even more downhill. What I experienced, right, is you have to have a really good entertainment attorney, right? And you also have to have a really good manager, okay? Because the truth of the matter is that Stacy Lattisaw didn't have neither one, okay? My manager, I don't roll anyone under the bus. I just speak, the truth about situations. My manager stole a lot of my money. And I was like, how the heck did that even happen? Like I said, I did 6 albums on Atlantic, and I did 4 albums on Motown, right? And I'm thinking, well, I walked away from the industry, and I'm thinking, well, I'm married now, I have kids, and I'm not doing any more shows, so I'm pretty much retired. At 25, I retired from the industry. So I'm thinking that, I'm not owed anything, okay? I had already been with this company called AFTRA, right? So what happens is when you're with this, it's called American Federation Television Radio Artists. I've been with them since I was 12. And all of my money, some of my money goes into this retirement fund, right? And when you reach a certain age, you become eligible. So I said to Kevin one day, I was like, you know what? I said, I'm gonna find out how much my retirement will be. Let me just kind of dig into it and see if I get the retirement now or if I get it at 62, how much the difference would be. So I speak with this gentleman on the phone, and he's like, I'll send you the information and you can go through it and then you make your decision, right? I think around page 7, page 9, I come across a large amount of money. And I'm like, where is this money at? I don't have it. What the heck? So I'm like, it was like $2.3 million. So we'd already had an entertainment attorney, but I told Kevin, I said, we need to get on the phone with him immediately, because after I saw that, it appeared that it was owed to me, right? So the gentleman on the phone, I called these people back at AFTRA. They said, well, you got to contact the record label because the record label reports to us. So I was like, oh my gosh, this is like getting a little weird here. So we get on the phone with Atlantic, my attorney, and come to find out, I was supposed to be receiving. One of the first things that my attorney asked me, Stacy, some dirty stuff. Stacy, where are your monthly statements? I said, what do you mean monthly statements? I haven't received anything in well over 40 years. Monthly statements? Should I have been receiving monthly? He said, of course. I don't have no monthly statement. I'm not lying to you. So at that moment, I was like, something is going on that ain't nobody telling me about, and I need to find out what the heck it is. So y'all know after 40 years, I'm gonna look at the camera. After 40 years, I was supposed to be receiving royalties, but they withheld them from me. They withheld them. And you know what they told us? They didn't know my address. That's a bold-faced lie, because you know what? You can find me on social media. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. But you know what they do? They hold our money, and they get the interest and all. So, yeah, as of 2 years ago, I got back pay money. But still not the amount that I was supposed to have been given. I think I know for me, I know for a fact that what was missing in my life was peace, right? And what I used to try to do was I would try to fill that void with more stuff, right? Because I love to shop. I like nice things. Who doesn't? But I would go try and buy another purse. I would go buy another piece of jewelry because those things make me feel good, right? But it's like a temporary joy. So as I said, I dealt with the depression off and on for a long time. And that void was never filled. So what I started to do, because I remember I was raised in the Catholic Church, right? And that's what we did on Sunday. We went to Catholic church. But the rest of the week, we lived any old kind of way. We just thought it was the right thing to do to go to church. But one night, I was all alone. And I turned everything off. I turned off my phone. I turned off the TV. I turned the lights off. It was completely dark in the room. And I dropped to the floor. I put my knees on the floor. And I said, God, I've heard about you, but I don't really know you. And I know, I felt like I was tapping into something. And I didn't know what that something was, right? But I remember very clearly, I put my hands out and I said, God, I surrender. I said, I've been trying to find peace and joy and the things that I have, but it's not working. So I pray that you show me what my purpose is. I pray that you show me what I'm supposed to be doing in this point in my life. When I got off the floor from praying that night, I heard something say to me, but there is more. And I didn't know what that more was. It was like, okay, but there is more. What is that more? So God began to birth a ministry in me through the pain that I went through, right? I didn't know at the time, but he was birthing a women's ministry in me. So I get to share my story of how God set me free from depression over 40 years ago, right? I get to share my story of the low self-esteem that we women sometimes don't talk about, okay? We see the makeup, the hair, the clothes and stuff, but it's a lot of broken women. It's a whole lot of broken women that walk around with a smile on their face, but on the inside, they crying real hard. I feel the presence of God. And what happens is we put on a mask because we don't want people to see the real us. But we all have issues. We all are flawed people. We all have stuff that we deal with on a constant basis that we sometimes sweep under the carpet and we say, you know what? I'll just deal with it. But God don't want you to deal with it. God wants you to be free. God wants you to be healthy, whole, and happy. But we human beings, we settle when God don't want us to settle. He wants you to live your best life.